Okay, there's a red light, so we're good, right? All right, it's 5:30 and time to start our regularly scheduled meeting with a roll call, please.
Commissioner Patton.
Here.
Commissioner Barwick.
Here.
Commissioner Webb.
Here.
Commissioner Stecklin.
Here.
Mayor Absher.
Here. Would you all stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, brings us to item 3, which is public comments, audience to visitors. Is there anyone here tonight that would like to address the council? Okay, we'll move on to consent agenda, which just consists only of the minutes from July 14th City Council meeting. I would entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda.
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda, A, as presented.
I'll second that.
Any changes or corrections to the meeting minutes of July 14th? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Patton.
Yay.
Commissioner Barwick.
Yay.
Commissioner Webb.
Yay.
Commissioner Stecklin.
Yay.
Mayor Absher.
Yay. I got a vacuum cleaner running. Let's see if we can shut that door. Okay. We'll move on to item 5 under new business, building and code services. This applicant, Mr. Leisenring, I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly, actually drove from Nebraska to come see me about this, so I kind of got involved and went on site this incidents here. So I want to be clear. So the zoning board denied his request for a variance on a carport that had already been built. This is on the corner of Whitman and what's that back street? Reeves. He had already built it. To give you a little bit of background, this gentleman bought this house on an online auction to invest here. He's not from here, does not really have a connection here. He works with the U.S. military, which is the reason he's not here tonight. He was out of town and on assignment. We had planned on calling him this evening, and unfortunately he's got a family member that's in. We talked to him as early as this morning because I planned on having him. I told him we could accommodate him by speakerphone if we had questions of him or he wanted to make testimony to it. But anyway, long and the short of it is he built this 20 by 20 carport on that corner lot. I want to be clear here. I think the zoning board made the right decision. It did not follow the rules. It does not have the proper setback. It is a corner lot, which has some additional concerns with line of sight and things like that. So I think they made the right decision. However, when you go out there on site, in my opinion, as I did, I did not take these specific pictures, but took some pictures. On balance, I think this is an improvement to what was there. And I make that representation because Cody and I went back on Google Maps, Street View, and in effect, people were parking there anyway, driving over the sidewalk. They destroyed the sidewalk. There really isn't another place to park on this property other than right there or behind the house. It was a muddy mess. Our sidewalk had been destroyed. So this guy put up a carport in order to attract better tenants. At his expense, repaired our sidewalk, which I don't know how much that piece cost, but I appreciated that. It looks very nice. Since the denial, I'm not sure, but he went out and got letters of support, including the superintendent of the school district, which said they've had no complaints, and the school district would be the one. And there was, if you look back through the meeting notes, the board had some concerns as to how this would impact the school district. So he then went out and got these letters of support from appears to be every neighbor. I went out there myself with Cody. We drove every corner of the intersection. There does not appear to be a line of sight issue, an obstruction there, which is really what I think the code on a side lot, like corner lot like that, is trying to prevent. So I think the zoning board made the right decision to deny the variance, to kick it to us. But on balance, based on my site visit, I do not believe this proposes any kind of hazard, and in fact, I think it's an improvement to the property. Really, our only recourse, the owner's only recourse, should we disapprove or approve the denial. This gets tricky. If we approve the denial, his only recourse is to tear the building down. That's really the only thing there is to do. You can't get a shorter carport. That won't work. The cars do not hang out of the carport, incidentally. It's enough so that, but that was my concern, is that they would encroach upon the sidewalk that was poured. That is not the case. I don't have them with me, but I have pictures of cars parked in there. So anyway, very rare. Matter of fact, I only recall one instance where I voted to overrule, so to speak, the zoning board. I want to make, yeah, there you go. It is in there.
Yeah, it's in the
You can
packet.
see the cars that are parked in there are well within the footprint of the carport. So it's not like kids are walking on the sidewalk and having to avoid a car or anything. And keep in mind, before the kids were walking through mud, absolute mud. So anyway, it's very rare. I was thinking about this. I don't think but one time in 6.5 years almost that I've voted to overrule zoning board's recommendation or ruling, but I think that's warranted in this case. All the meanwhile, I want to be clear that I think the zoning board made the right ruling because that's following the rules. I just think it's up to us to ultimately decide, okay, is this some sort of hazard? Are we better off as a community making somebody deconstruct something? I guess destruct is not a word. And I don't think we are, frankly. So that's my on-scene appraisal of this specific situation. That being said, if you just don't like it, I'm sure the man will tear this down. He is a rule follower, and it doesn't sound like it, but he apologized all over himself. He didn't realize that there was this setback rule or that he needed a permit. That's on him, and he admits that. So anyway, that's the spiel. Just so that we can discuss it, I'm going to make the motion to disapprove the zoning board's denial and allow this carport at 1001 North Whitman, parcels 07-18-257-006 for the installed carport to remain, even though he did not get a permit.
I would second that.
Okay. Discussion. This is not an ideal situation. I realize
I was curious how long has this been there? It may
So-
have been in the minutes, but
this came up in April when he applied for the variance. I think our code officer stopped by right along in that time it was being
Okay.
installed. I originally was going to put this on the last agenda. It came to my attention in, when was that email chain, Cody, that I gave you? I don't have it.
Would have been
June.
the last week of June.
Okay. That's when it came to my attention because I think the lineage of events is that the carport was installed. The code officer stopped, left notice. I think it may have, because he's not there, I think it may have taken some time for that to get to him in Nebraska. He found out he needed to then apply for a variance. That took from 4/16 until whenever the zoning board met, which was July 1st.
okay. Well, the only reason I ask is it sounds like it's been at least through part of the school year, so I thought it was built this summer. They wouldn't know if they had any school issues or not, but
No,
if it's there a month or two before school's
I
out.
think it was there for the balance of April, if not most of April, and obviously through, after that, through whenever school ended.
Yeah,
in
the
mid-May.
letter from the superintendent states that it's been there. No reports of complaints from parents, so it's obviously been there for Jefferson while the school's in session, I guess.
I'm always hesitant whenever we give this great of a variance, because now the next person's gonna come and say, well, you let that guy do it. But the saving grace in my mind on this, we're talking about a one-way road. I know it's not his yard, but they've got a stripe, no parking. So it's not typical where it's right on, I mean, it's on the road, on the city property line, but
There's no reason a car should be over that far.
Right.
Is
That's
what
what
I was seeing
yeah.
anyway.
So with it being a one, again, I don't want us to set a precedence. Everybody that wants to do it can do it, but this is kind of a unique circumstance in my mind with that being a one-way street. You know,
Well, I've questioned if this had come up in the proper format, if I would have voted to allow the variance before it was built. I think I probably wouldn't have. When somebody's improved a property, I wish we'd have printed off that Google Maps, because this yard was a mess. Oh, it is? I'm seeing, that's what I struggle with, is I don't see a value in causing somebody to spend more money to tear something down that's on balance an improvement to a property and that poses no threat, so. Anybody else have comments? Okay, roll call, please.
Commissioner Patton,
We are approving to,
The motion is to disapprove the zoning board's denial, so there's a double negative. So, in effect,
yes,
a
so
yes
if
vote on this motion allows the carport to stay,
Okay.
approving the variance.
I just wanted to clarify that.
Thank you.
Yes. My vote is yay.
Commissioner Barwick,
yay.
Commissioner Webb,
Yay.
Commissioner Stecklin,
Yay.
Mayor Absher.
Yay. Item 6 under new business, Commissioner Barwick.
I'd like to make a motion at the recommendation of Chief Fitz and myself for the Marion Police Department. We wish to purchase a Can-Am 6 MSD for the price of $29,997. Accessories, lights, sirens, etc. will be installed by Fleet Fab for an additional $2,500. This will be a side-by-side utility vehicle, similar to the one that we bought for the fire department a few weeks back, in case of an emergency or storms or whatever we would need. Anybody have any questions?
Is this? Oh. Solely to prepare for disasters like we had in May? I mean, is that the contemplation here? I don't object to this. I just don't think we can also get in the habit of buying these expensive machines for every department.
That's not
So-
solely, no, sir. I can envision when the new sports complex and all that gets going, I can see having an officer out there all the time and putting them in that. We use it for parades, and if we have any more events like what has happened last week, twice on barricaded subject where all the streets were blocked off, it could come in very handy, situations like that. All I know is the day of the tornado, I threw the uniform on and went out there. I couldn't get through anywhere. The only vehicles moving really were the four-wheelers and golf carts and stuff, and if that would have been, I don't know what, 3 miles north, we'd
Yeah.
have had an issue here, so.
And the golf carts didn't get very far.
I think this would be a tool in our toolbox, not just sitting there waiting for the next tornado to come. Like he said, it can be utilized in other areas, but the main thing that brought this to our attention was when that tornado happened. Had they not had access to people's side-by-sides in that area, everybody would have had been carrying people out and carrying equipment in. And
How are we trailering it to locate whatever
I don't
location?
think we have to. I think we can legally drive it on the streets.
Okay.
It will have all the lights required by state law, mirrors, turns.
Tags, will this be I mean, it actually registered?
have to be.
Does not have to be? Okay. His was in the form of a motion.
Yes.
Was there a second?
No.
I'll second that.
Any other discussion?
Do we know where we're getting this from yet?
Yes.
Oasis Power Sports.
Okay.
We did check, when we bought the one for the fire department, we had checked a couple different places, and Oasis was the cheapest. He checked this time again got another bid, and they were still the cheapest. In fact, this one's just a little bit less than the one we bought the fire department, since we bought a couple of them.
So noted in the packet, just for public's understanding, while this specific unit is not budgeted, contemplated that this would be spent on this unit, we're under budget on planned vehicle purchases for the police department, right?
Yes, sir.
So it's within that overall budget, but that also means any other surprise comes up, we're limited,
That's correct.
right? Okay.
Yeah. Technically, it is a vehicle.
Does the mayor get to drive it during third Thursdays or anything?
Absolutely.
Okay, good to know.
We are $65,000 under vehicle budget right now,
Okay.
so.
Okay, roll call, please.
Commissioner Patton?
Yay.
Commissioner Barwick?
Yay?
Commissioner Webb?
Yay.
Commissioner Steckland?
Yay.
Mayor Absher?
Yay. Item 7, under Water Department, we got 2 items. Commissioner Steckland.
All right, so the first one, do you want to do this, Brent? You want me to do this? Doesn't matter?
I'm just here to give any explanation of what we're doing here on these, these are both budgeted items.
Yeah. I mean, if anybody has any questions, they can ask you about it, so. Anyway, the first one is to approve a water line replacement project on Redbud Street for $69,518.62, and it is a budgeted item.
Second that.
Any questions of Brent? What's the impetus for this specific line? Is it old, broken, shallow?
This is actually the engineering agreement that we agreed upon, or you guys voted on last, I think the last council meeting. Of course, the scope of that project had the cost of a contractor doing that job, which was significantly more than this. All we're buying here are the materials, the valves, the pipe, and all the things that go with the project, and the water department's going to install that themselves. How it started, last year, we were doing a sanitary sewer project in that area down Maplewood, and we got into some of the water mains, and we had to start replacing valves, and at that point, Cliff said it's a mess all the way down Redbud, all the way over to Carbon Street, so we made it a priority to go ahead and redo that whole area.
And by mess, just an old line,
Yeah, an
leaky,
old line,
or?
Yeah, it's an old line, for one, and then there's a lot of lines that come off of it for services that aren't proper. They said they've had a lot of breaks on the line, so it's time to replace it. And it's a big enough job, you know, we're having to vote on it, but it's a small enough job that the department can do the labor themselves and save a lot of money, so.
Okay. First and second. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Patton?
Yay.
Commissioner Barwick?
Yay.
Commissioner Webb?
Yay.
Commissioner Steckland?
Yay.
Mayor Absher?
Yay. Item 7B.
All right, so the other one is to basically approve replacing outdated Zener meter electronics and batteries in 1,100 units totaling $122,100. Also, it is a budgeted item.
I'll second that.
Any questions on this? I know we've done 2 or 3 rounds of this that I recall, maybe more than that, but how many total meters do we have deployed?
Well, these are the oldest meters that we've installed. I think we first started installing them in 2017, right? So these are the oldest ones. The warranties are getting ready to expire. We have to replace these batteries and the electronics, the register, which collects information from the meter itself and sends it back remotely to the water office. It's always a maintenance item for the guys. But up until now, they basically replacing them for free. Now we're getting into the phase where those first ones are going out of warranty. So since it's been such a big replacement and an ongoing every month thing, we decided to go ahead and upgrade all the electronics because, you know, the newer generations of those electronics are better, the batteries are better, So we're gonna just batch this out and replace the 2017 meters that we put in 2017, or not the meters. The meters are fine. The meters will probably last 20, 30 years. The electronics of it is what we're actually after. The MIU, the register that goes on top of the meter that collects the information, and then what do you call the transponder?
So it's just the MIU it's the MIU that's on top of the meter. So if you look at your meter, the lid, little gray puck that's on it, it's basically going to be replacing that part.
Yeah, that's the part that you see of the meter.
I guess my question is, if I phrase it in a different way, is this going to be perpetual? In other words,
There's gonna be more. Yes.
Okay.
There will be more.
So
We have
as-
a total of 9,000 meters in town.
Okay.
We'll revisit what we need to do next year, probably about the same time. But most of those electronics, they're gonna be out of warranty, so we're gonna have to start buying them anyway. So we figure if we could just go ahead and start batching small amounts of them at a time. It's not a small amount, it's $122,000. But instead of having the $1 million price tag, I think we talked about this in one of our superintendent meetings, that would be a hard pill to swallow. We can just do it over time.
Okay.
We can allocate money for it and do it that way.
How long do those batteries normally last?
Well, I mean, there's been some issues with the battery. That's a tough question because there's been a lot of issues with the batteries, and some of the batteries failed way too early. I think they've made some pretty big improvements. Terrence will be able to speak to that better than me because he deals with them directly, and Cliff. But I think the batteries are finally lasting a lot longer.
They were projected to go 10 years. We've been having some issues, and so this is going to replace a lot of those old ones that will potentially cause us more issues, more problems. And to go with the mayor was talking about, as the years go by, the amount of meters that they'll be purchasing will become less and less and less. 17, 18, and I think 19 is when we bought a lot of meters.
Right.
So since then, we've been upgrading the rest of them.
The meters work great. I mean, it's saved a lot of labor as far as having to read meters manually. But it's added some labor with having to go out when these fail and replace the parts. So it's an ongoing maintenance thing. Like I said, we're just kind of trying to batch a bunch together now. It's within our scope of our budget that we can do this annually. So that's why we're asking to approve this first round tonight.
So the warranty that you say is getting ready to expire, is that on the electronic parts?
Yes.
Okay. And when we had to replace those batteries that prematurely
They replace
failed,
those.
they replaced those under warranty? Gotcha.
Yes.
Yep. So this will be an ongoing thing until we,
Until we get caught up and get
Yeah.
everything more new than old.
yeah.
And some of the later ones are the improvements they made in the batteries and things like that. We may not have to replace those for a longer period of time.
Yeah.
It's just as Cliff goes through his months and we have how many ever failures we have, he's gauging the health of the system based on that. And as we see those start to go down, it should become less that we have to actually batch and try to replace all at once.
So is it the battery that's going bad in these units, or is it the electronics are going bad?
Well, I
along with
think
the battery?
both. The batteries are going bad, but a lot of it is the way those things have to send a signal in. If they can't get the reading through, they keep trying. They keep trying. And I think they've made some improvements to that helps limit the amount of battery power they're using to send out a signal. It is a complicated thing.
It's a mesh system, so when you have one meter go dead, then it's trying to send the signal to another meter. So one meter can essentially hold, 75, 60 or whatever different ones. So now you're putting more strain on the battery as well. And they've got some, like a motherboard in the computer, they've got some internal issues and stuff as well that tend to go out as well. That's the ETR portion. So that is also a part of this whole process as well.
So just changing the batteries in the units that we already have wouldn't necessarily fix your problem then?
No, sir. And that's something that they do a lot of labor and time. So to get ahead of the curve is just replacing all of them, and then we don't have to, they don't have to worry about going out and do a lot of manual reads and fixing things that they don't need to.
The system's complicated. There's collectors in different parts of town. Sometimes they'll go down and it starts to try to search for something else, like Terrence said, and it just wears the batteries out. As if we can keep the entire system healthy and working 100% properly, we'll eliminate some of those problems, but it is complex. And we don't find out about it until kind of after the fact. Things are starting to shut down on us.
Okay. Item 7B, roll call, please.
Commissioner Patton?
Yay.
Commissioner Barwick?
Yay.
Commissioner Webb?
Yay.
Commissioner Stecklin?
Yay.
Mayor Absher?
Yay. Item 8, A, B, and C. Part of this started with me when last year we were doing the slide restoration project, and the stairs to the slide, I guess, are metal, and that's a pretty caustic environment inside of there with lots of chemicals and chlorine, and I had asked Chris at that time to start figuring out what it was going to take to get those stairs repaired. I don't think they were, at that time at least, unsafe, but they're very unsightly, and especially once we got the slide redone. So,
Structurally, it's safe.
yeah.
We want to get to it before we have more difficulty
Right.
with it. Before I discuss each point, I need clarification on C, item C, 8C. I apologize. I intended for the whole project to be RP Coatings. Ground Effects Flooring, it's a fine vendor. The bid is slightly lower. The RP Coatings bid was $36,000 for the pool deck. So pool deck restoration was $36,000 from RP Coatings, and Ground Effects quoted $35,000 and $46,000, $35,046. So we do have an agenda item here that would need correction at some point.
Well, why is your recommendation on that one? We're jumping ahead here, but
Right.
why is your recommendation to pay
For-
$1,000 more to RP?
No, it's less than 1,000 more, but 36,000 versus the 35,046.
Okay, $954.
Yeah, so if RP Coatings does the project together, we don't have two contractors out there within a 2-week to 4-week period of time working with each other, coordinating with each other. RP Coatings has a big enough crew that they can do the entire project with that crew. And they can do it most likely September simultaneously, so we don't have that coordination issue. They are proven 10 years ago when they actually restored our original locker room flooring and airlock hallway party rooms. They redid that, which was not done adequately originally. So they did that about 10 years ago, and they were very efficient, very easy to work with relative to their rotation through the locker rooms. So they've got a proven track record relative to their project process, the timeliness, and doing it all together, I think will be a more seamless project. So that's my recommendation relative to RP Coatings doing the items that include the stair, metal restoration, the pool deck, locker room, airlock hallway, party room, recoating, and shower walls. So that was those 4 areas were their bids. So that's the reason to make it a more efficient project, and with their track record for the work that they've done, that is in the locker rooms, very high traffic area, has maintained, a 10-year service.
Chris, question. Have we asked RP to just match the other bid? Can we do that?
Have we asked what?
Have we asked?
I've not asked that.
Can't hurt to ask.
I can certainly
I mean, why not?
do that. with this
If he
whole
wants to-
project that they have,
wants to
I
Use the same company?
can't
just
speak
ask
for
if
them,
they'll
but I
honor that
think-
other bid? I don't know. I know that's not normally standard practice, but.
All right, let's get to that one in order. I've got some, I gotta think about that for a second. So anyway, all three of these were known. Some of the amounts were known, some of the amounts were not known. So if you'll notice in your packet on item A, so we got two bids, and one of them was 4 times as much as the other one. That was from the same people that did the slide repair.
Correct.
We asked when they were here to give us a price.
that's right.
That's since expired, but then we reached out to RP Coatings, so we didn't know at that particular time, at budget time, to actually budget for this. So we're asking approval for this in our capital replacement fund for 51.2 of that. And just to go in order on item B, a little bit different. Locker room maintenance, we budgeted part of it.
Well, we had foreseen that this is going to have to be done, but that portion of it was not budgeted.
We thought we were
apportioned-
gonna-
Well, we did budget a little bit on shower stalls as well as countertop replacement. That's correct. Some of it is budgeted.
So anyway, we're using a combination of that budgeted funds and capital replacement funds on that. And then C, the one that we just talked about, is similar. We had let's see.
And we budgeted 30,000 for that.
Right, we were a little bit short on what our guess was on the budget, so about either 5,046 or 6,000, depending on what we decide on that deal. So anyway, we anticipate all this, didn't know exactly all the numbers at the time that we budgeted, so that's why there's a combination of budgeted funds and capital replacement funds. So that's my motion on item 8A, is to approve a slide stair restoration project using capital replacement funds from low bidder of RP Coatings for $51,200.
I would second that.
Okay, any discussion on this? The other bid, by the way, was $209.
I guess maybe my question is the difference between bids. I mean, typically you don't see that much disparity.
Correct. Yeah.
So somebody is either leaving something out or somebody was including something that we really
Okay.
didn't need.
The difference is Safe Slide Restoration envisioned disassembly of all of the stairs, bringing them to the parking lot, tenting it, sandblasting each part, and reassembling the stairs. So the stairs essentially consist of metal structure that telescopes up, and then there is a tread deck that's adhered, it's screwed on to those stairs. So theirs was a complete disassembly, as opposed to RP Coatings. Their proposal is to remove the treads, sandblast it in place. They have included in their bid removal of one window that ostensibly Marion Glass would do. They would have the ventilation, they would have the containment, and they would do it right there and then clean up afterward. So that's the dramatic difference, probably the time that Safe Slide would have in it and the on-site time of an off location, St. Louis area company. So
And how is RP Coatings proposing to paint that?
they would sandblast, and then they have a 3-coat process. There's initial kind of primer type coat. There's 3 coats total. We've asked them, and that's a Sherwin-Williams epoxy product. We've asked them what additional coats on that slide structure would it actually extend the life or improve the the durability of it, and they don't feel it would. Sherwin-Williams, on their product, they are saying it should, based on the system that RP Coatings is recommending, should be a 15 to 20-year life. Now, I know realistically, based on how much water comes down on those stairs, I don't know if it would be that. I cannot stand here and say that it would be. But that's what they're saying in terms of their product, and that's a 3-coat process after sandblasting.
I looked at some of that stair, or a lot of that stair, the last time I was in there, and there are some pretty decomposed, for lack of a better word,
Yeah.
areas.
Hardware and
Are there-
primarily hardware.
Do they anticipate any, hey, we just can't use this anymore, we're gonna have to get a new part or new piece?
I think there will be some hardware that we'll get into. They did not indicate that. I think some of the hardware that's relative to the stair, the tread connections, because those are smaller pieces of hardware, I think that's what we would probably be looking at. But those are a small screw as opposed to structural bolts.
Okay. So they're gonna do it all in place,
All in place.
Yeah. not take anything down?
That's correct.
Okay.
Chris, the window removal that you referred to is for ventilation purposes?
Yes.
As they're sandblasting?
Correct.
Or and/or painting?
Correct.
And how confident are they that they can tarp off that area? I just remember when the slide was done, what a
Yes.
high holy mess that was.
Yes.
And it took them and your crew days
Correct.
to clean it,
Yeah.
to correct it. So I don't want to see that play out again.
Correct. They understand the containment necessary. We're going to drain the pools. Those gutter areas have to be contained. Everything has to be draped. And I'm going to see to it that there's a proper containment because we don't want to revisit that. Yeah.
I would also probably recommend taking before pictures, because I know with those sandblasters or those wands, somebody can be working here and somebody said, "Hey, Joe," and he goes, "Yeah,"
Yeah.
and it sprays up on a window or on a finish or on an interior surface or whatever, and that stuff's pretty
Yeah.
pretty potent as far as getting stuff off. I've seen windows be ruined by those, and windows have to be replaced because of that material coming out. So just kind of as a precaution,
Yeah.
kind of document what we've got
Absolutely.
so we can know that if it was done, an accident happened, we would at least have evidence that, hey, we were good before you started.
Yes. We will be sure to do that.
We're still on A, right? Lost my place.
8A. I think we've got a second, right?
Okay, roll call, please.
Commissioner Patton?
Yay.
Commissioner Barwick?
Yay.
Commissioner Webb?
Yay.
Commissioner Stecklin?
Yay.
Mayor Absher?
Yay. Item 8B, a lot of wear and tear, as Chris said, in this area. In all fairness, probably have deferred this maintenance for 2 or 3 years. It's time. We budgeted for it, although albeit a little bit short. So that's why we're using budgeted and capital replacement funds, and that's my motion to approve the listed and various locker room maintenance projects totaling $54,980.
I'll second that.
Okay, roll call, please.
Commissioner Patton?
Yay.
Commissioner Barwick?
Yay.
Commissioner Webb?
Yay.
Commissioner Stecklin?
Yay.
Mayor Absher?
Yay. All right, item 8C. Chris, here's the problem I have. So in good faith, we asked 2 bidders to bid a project. One bids it lower than the other. I say $1,000, you say $954, but still $1,000.
Okay. I thought you said 10. And
Okay.
No.
But $1,000 is $1,000.
Yes.
Now, to be clear, there's a common perception that we always have to take the lowest bid. That's true. it's almost always true if it's a capital project like building a building or something. It's not necessarily statutorily true, as I understand it, for purchases and things like that. The council does have the discretion to choose the best for the city, and that could mean various and sundry things, including convenience, which is basically your argument. However, I have no problem with either one of these vendors whatsoever, nothing whatsoever to say that I think one does a better job over the other. I understand the convenience argument, but what happens the next time we need competitive bids? Will this vendor that lost out to this bid for our convenience even be willing to bid again? I don't, unless there's some compelling reason, I don't think that's fair to put out a competitive bid. You said you didn't have anything against Ground
Absolutely not.
FX. I
think
certainly don't.
Fine work. Mhm.
So, I mean, we'll take a vote, whatever, but my vote will be to approve the motion as presented. I understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
I just don't see how in good faith we can put out a competitive bid process, not have a problem with either of the vendors that turned in a bid. How do we look at the other vendor and say, well, yeah, we chose somebody else for $1,000, excuse me, $954 more?
Okay.
That's what I'm struggling
Okay.
with.
If I might say, that comes a little bit from experience, the history of having so many contractors working in the same space.
I get it, but
And it's doable. It always is done. There's no doubt about it.
there's no
yeah.
question it would be easier for us. What I'm saying is how do we put out a bid to two local contractors here? And what my fear is that there is a sense of favoritism over one or the other. And that's what I'm just having a hard time with.
Okay.
If we were buying a car and if this was the previous, well, let me use a different analogy. In my previous life, I had the opportunity to sell police cars and fire trucks and things like that to the city. We always turned in a bid, didn't always get them. But if the argument would be, if I lost out on a bid when I was a low bidder, and I'd done business with the city a bunch of times, and to my knowledge had no problem with it, and then the argument back to me is like, well, I bid $1,000 cheaper for that police car. Why didn't you buy it from me? And they said, well, we were buying 10 others from the other guy, and it was just going to be more convenient. Well, you know what? I don't know that I'd have bid it the next time. And then you might not have gotten a competitive bid because basically we aggravated somebody. And so I get it. I can't support that. And it maybe makes your project more complicated. But I don't know how we look at it. And that's just my opinion. You guys express your own, but what do you guys think?
I agree.
Will it cost us more money to have the second company? I mean, I guess that would be the bottom line for me. If we save $1,000, but it costs us $3,000 to save $1,000, I mean.
Well, I have to presume, I have to be fair here, I have to presume that they're going to honor their bid. Will it cost us more? I don't know if it'll cost us more in time. I don't know if it'll cost us more for some other unknown reason.
What do you
I
mean
can't say.
you presume they'll honor their bid?
Well, they
Does that
have a
mean-
bid of 35.46.
Yeah.
So I don't, not sure I'm understanding why it would cost us more.
Well, I didn't know.
In our time, I think is what you're getting,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Like our staff's
Oh, I
time because of having two different vendors tripping over each other or whatever.
It-
My
it
words,
could-
not yours.
It could extend the project, or it could go into November. We're basically looking at RP Coatings doing it in September. So it could mean a separate closure, but I don't know that for a fact. As far as coordinating the two together, would it mean that we have essentially 2 months of closure or something to that effect because we're coming in a second time? I don't know. I wish I could answer that. If they coordinate well together, then maybe it would be a September closure. I don't know if Ground Effects can do it in September. I've not checked on that specifically.
So,
Since I'm the one,
go ahead.
since I'm the one that was always pushing for getting multiple bids, I would find it hard not to award it to the lowest bidder unless their workmanship wasn't good or their product wasn't good. But if everything was equal, I don't see how we could not give it to the lowest bidder. I mean, that's the purpose of getting bids, in my mind.
So tell me the sequence of events. You've got the slide restoration, you've got the locker room, and you've got the pool deck restoration.
Correct.
Which one is going to happen first?
RP Coatings has the staff that they can do it simultaneously. So in other words, the pool deck gets done based on what their process is at the same time. We have rotated locker room restoration one at a time. So they have a big enough crew that I would foresee, I can't determine what their process and their steps are, but I could foresee they're on the deck and they're in one locker room at a time. And therefore, we have locker room rotation, we have the family locker room, and therefore they would be doing those two projects at the same time, those two areas. So how they coordinate themselves on pool deck versus slide restoration, I don't know those specifics yet.
Because to me, the pool deck restoration, which basically is, what's that process? Do we sandblast?
It's sandblasting the pool deck.
Getting it back down to bare
Yes,
concrete?
making sure they've got a good surface, and then doing the coats.
Putting some type of application on top of that, and voila, we've got a new pool deck, or new looking pool deck.
Correct.
To me, it would be, that process, in my opinion, probably should be last as opposed to first, because if we restore the pool deck and then we bring in the sandblaster, we run the risk of messing up what we just created, right?
Right, right. I mean, the slide sandblasting, of course,
Yeah.
it's a grind or it's a sandblast of the deck as well.
Right.
So I imagine that logically, it's getting the surfaces clean and then painting. But again, RP Coatings has that capability of being out on the pool deck and in the locker room.
Well, Doug, you've probably
Right.
had more involvement in the hub from the beginning than any of us, so I said my piece about my concern, but tell me from a practical standpoint what your thoughts are on this.
I can understand the coordination part of it. In my mind, I don't know that unless the pool deck restoration is done last, I don't see a big issue with the coordination of the two, because in my mind, you're going to be doing the slide, and that's going to get finished. The locker room kind of is its own separate entity. It really won't
Correct.
affect the slide or the pool deck, right?
Correct. Except for patron move, but no, it would not.
Yeah.
We can manage that, and that's what we've done it before.
So I can see the advantage of having one company do kind of all three as far as the coordination of the sandblaster and all that kind of stuff, and making a mess once and cleaning it up once. I can see that. I guess it would depend on the sequence of events.
Right.
For me to, you know, is it worth $1,000? When they do the pool deck, how are they going to keep the material, sandblast material, out of the gutters, out of the pool, all that kind of stuff?
Well, other than a vacuum type collection, which they have, it would be, we would be draping, we're draining the pools, draping the areas of the pools, the edges, and draping the gutters. So all gutters and trench drains have to be sealed off, have to be closed. And the contractor is responsible for that. Believe me, it's a concern. If you do it right,
Yeah.
to stay out of the pool systems entirely.
Yeah. Because you
It's
know
all
what
main
happened.
drains, all gutters,
You know what happens if it gets in there.
Yeah, yeah,
The only way to get it out probably is to flush it out, and then it goes to the filter system, right?
yeah.
Yeah,
It has to be sealed.
yeah.
I was curious, where's RP Coatings headquartered at? Is it?
I wanna
They're
s-
here.
I want to say Centralia, but I'm not.
No,
Carbondale, Troy.
sorry.
They've been around for a long time. Penrod guy's been around for a long time.
It says Troy.
There's Troy and Carbondale.
Carbondale?
Carbondale location in Troy.
Well, Doug,
I,
I'm depending on your recommendation here.
you know, if the flooring was done last, it's not really going to matter.
Understood. One has to do the job and then the other
Yeah.
comes in and does
I
the
just,
job.
I would prefer not to clean up twice. And I don't know if they could sandblast the slide and the floor at the same time, in one fell swoop, and do it all. Can they? Have you talked to them about doing it that way?
Both, you mean both?
RP,
Oh, RP. I don't specifically know.
okay.
Did you when you talked to FX, did you tell them that if another person got because they didn't bid the
I've not-
stairs, right?
They did not
FX.
bid the stairs, that's
So
correct.
did they
There
know
was-
we were having that work done?
No.
I was just wondering if you had talked with them, if they'd have any problem coordinating with another contractor on a different part of it.
I have not had that discussion.
And when did Ground FX say that they could get in there and do that?
They've not given me a timeline.
Okay. Probably 6 of one and half dozen of the other, I don't know.
I need to move forward with somebody, so.
I agree that if we're gonna get bids, let's go with the low bid, unless we know something about the low bidder that would help us make that decision. I know we've done that before on general contractors that we've had, based on past experience. I would say go with the low bid. That's my opinion.
Thank you.
Because I think it all can be coordinated, but it's a timing thing, really.
Mhm. Fair enough.
I move to approve a pool deck restoration project for $35,046 from Ground FX Flooring using budgeted and capital replacement funds.
I'd second that.
Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Patton,
Yay.
Commissioner Barwick,
Yay.
Commissioner Webb,
Yay.
Commissioner Stefan,
Yay.
Mayor Absher.
Yay. Thanks, Chris. Item 9A, city was approached, or I was approached by Benny's Restaurant. They're wanting to expand their business, specifically get back into the meeting space, catering, small event things, particularly now that downtown is so bustling. And so John and Lynn met with me. They've got a host, they went through a pro forma with me on how the city can get paid back through additional business, and they asked for a loan out of our, as a development agreement. We've had a few of these. You might recall we have an economic incentive fund that would fit well with something like this, but make no mistake about it, they are guaranteeing the loan, agreeing to pay it back if the municipal tax generated by this does not sufficient to pay back the loan. And so that's what this is. This is a $140,000 loan to Benny's Italian Foods, guaranteed by the owners personally. And that's my motion to approve ordinance 4054, development agreement with Benny's Italian Foods.
I'll second that.
Again, if you look at the development agreement, it looks very much like a TIF agreement. It's not a TIF agreement, though. It's just similarly formatted with all the pertinent information there. Any questions on the agreement? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Patton,
Yay.
Commissioner Barwick,
Yay.
Commissioner Webb,
Yay.
Commissioner Stefan,
Abstain.
Mayor Absher.
Yay. Item 9B is residential TIF 1 redevelopment agreement with Laura Spiller. Anything of note on this out of the ordinary, Cody?
No, I'll just comment that this would qualify for like a residential TIF grant, but she's doing much more to this property. So we thought a traditional TIF agreement would be more appropriate.
Okay. Move to approve ordinance 4055, a residential TIF 1 redevelopment agreement with Laura Spiller.
Second.
Any discussion? Questions for Cody? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Patton,
Yay.
Commissioner Barwick,
Yay.
Commissioner Webb,
Yay.
Commissioner Stefan,
Yay.
Mayor Absher.
Yay. Item 9C. See a very small list as our funds are running pretty much exhausted, I think, on TIF grant applications for fiscal year 26. That's my motion to approve that TIF grant application list received through July 25th, 2025.
Second that.
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Patton,
Yay.
Commissioner Barwick,
Yay.
Commissioner Webb,
Yay.
Commissioner Stefan,
Yay.
Mayor Absher.
Yay. Okay, Cody, you want to explain? This one's a little bit different.
Yeah, so in the original agreement, my intention, and I guess I didn't do a good job of communicating this to the TIF attorney, but Chico had come to me on his project off of Russell Street and Mack Avenue, needing to expand the water and sewer service there to build out this residential neighborhood that he's putting in there. The issue was that, one, because the city wanted to see that project done, that we would reimburse him up front for his infrastructure costs, and then he'll have some other ancillary costs that are going to get reimbursed through the traditional TIF process. But specifically on the sewer part of the project, he had to get that portion of the infrastructure built out before he needed the water service built out. The water service is going to be probably done in the fall once the buildings get closer to Russell Street. So he asked that we go ahead and reimburse him for the sewer portion, which totaled $40,475. I didn't see any issue with that. Submitted his costs and his proof of payment to the attorney to review, and they said, well, the agreement's not written that way, and so I'm coming to you with an amendment to make sure that the agreement is written that way, so that we can go ahead and reimburse him for his costs that he will just turn right back around and put back into the project. So that's what this amendment does.
And the attorneys are okay with that amendment?
They wrote it. So, yeah.
Remind me again what the project, what is it?
So he took,
Duplexes?
there was a trailer court there on Mack Avenue and Russell Street, and he removed the trailers from that in his building. Can't remember if it's 5 or 6 single-family homes there.
Single-family homes, okay.
Yeah. Great improvement to that little section.
Yes, it is.
Mm-hmm.
Was this the one that had the political flags and stuff? Is it that area? That's the area, okay.
So basically, what we approved originally, the whole project had to be complete before we got any reimbursement. He's got it partially
Yes.
complete. He's just asking for what he's done to this point,
Yeah,
right?
which is still a large chunk, but it's
Right.
not complete per the original agreement.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Because he can't finish the rest till this fall.
Right.
Okay. I move to approve ordinance 4056, amending the TIF 20 redevelopment agreement with Enrico Castellano.
Second that.
Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Patton,
Yay.
Commissioner Barwick,
Yay.
Commissioner Webb,
Yay.
Commissioner Stefan,
Yay.
Mayor Absher.
Yay. All right, item 10A, Wendy, if you will come up. We have been a part of class action, I guess that's the right term, class action lawsuits against, as obviously, by definition, as many other municipalities and units of government, against some opioid defendants, and Wendy's got this on here for our consideration, and she can explain a little bit better what this is about.
So there's a couple of new opioid litigation cases that have reached settlements that we are being asked, because we are a participating plaintiff in several of the other opioid cases, we're being asked if we also want to participate in these. The attorneys that represent us in the other cases are recommending that we join in with these. One of them is the Purdue Pharma, which that one's been going on for quite a while, but they finally reached a new settlement that the judge has agreed to. And then the other one, it has, I believe, 9 other defendants in it, which I know I'd sent you guys the information on those previously.
Okay, I'll move to that we approve participation in new opioid settlements with Purdue Pharma, Bankruptcy, and Sackler family, and 9 additional opioid defendants as requested by the city attorney.
Second that.
Any questions on this? This is some complicated stuff.
And there's
so
no estimate at this point as to how much money we'll receive. I'm not sure if they've even figured that out with these just yet,
But the alternative is we go it alone.
the
Right.
alternative, yes. If we don't join, we don't get any money unless we wanted to sue them personally ourselves.
Do we have any idea how many other municipalities or whatever are in this?
How many other plaintiffs?
Yeah.
I'm not for sure, but a lot.
That's a lot,
I mean, besides Illinois, you've got a lot of states that have joined in this, and then within each state, you've got counties, you've got municipalities, you've got townships. So it's a lot of governmental entities that are
Hundreds,
plaintiffs.
probably.
At least, probably
Yeah.
more, yeah.
Okay, roll call, please.
Commissioner Patton,
Yay.
Commissioner Barwick,
Yay.
Commissioner Webb,
Yay.
Commissioner Steckland.
Yay.
Mayor Absher.
Yay. Thank you, Wendy. All right, commissioner reports. We'll start with you, Jim.
Yeah, street department, still doing a lot of drainage work with the rains continue on as the summer progresses. So those drainage projects have been on McLaren, Granite, Goodall, State Street. Still doing some brush pickup as well. Mowing, the grass is growing like gangbusters, so trying to keep ahead of the grass. Doing a lot of road patching, sweeping along the edges of the road, and doing some paint striping as well. All is good at the cemetery. That's all I have.
Doug?
No, I'm good. Treasurer's office good.
Commissioner Steckland.
Water department, since last meeting, we had 5 meter pits were repaired or replaced, 5 water leaks were repaired, 2 services were updated, 2 new water taps done, 4 fire hydrants were repaired, and numerous landscaping, concrete, road, and sidewalk repairs from prior leaks. So it is last meeting of the month, so it's trivia time, and I want to give kudos out to not only Terrence, who always provides great stuff on this, but we've enlisted the help of some absolute professionalism on Wendy on these to go back into some of the city records and some cool trivia, so kudos to her as well. So in 1940, what animal could you not keep in the city of Marion between May the 1st and October the 1st? Is it swine, chickens, cows, or goats? This is from our own city ordinances. Only from May 1st to October 1st. After October 2nd, you can have whatever you want.
Peak heat season.
Imagine it's just warm.
Chickens.
Swine.
It is swine. So, if you were found to have a swine, you had 24 hours to get it out of the city limits or face a fine of $5, not to exceed $200, depending on how many swine you had. So, okay. Number 2, in the early 1900s, this is just a true or false. In the early 1900s, the city of Marion lost ownership of its water system because of its failure to pay the mortgage.
The mortgage.
The mortgage.
I'm going to say that's true. True.
True.
It is true. The United States District Court for the Eastern District of Illinois, dated February 28, 1931, decreed strict foreclosure was entered by the court transferring title of the waterworks plant of the city of Marion to L. Albert Carroll, trustee. To redeem, the city would have to pay $889,000.08, but we gave it up instead. So we didn't. When did we get it back? That's next month's trivia.
What?
There you go.
Now we can do some research.
We're leaving you wanting more.
All right,
How
item
cool
12.
is that?
Item 12, anything else to come before the council for the good of the city? Cody? Wendy? Chief? Tammy?
You
Terrence?
forgot
What?
Commissioner Barwick.
All right,
You were
unwind
so
all
taken
that.
back by my trivia.
You usually go first.
I don't have anything.
You really don't? All right. Anything else for the good of the city, other than me skipping around a lot? Anybody have a need for a closed or executive session? Peter?
Do you want to talk about?
Yeah, let's have a short executive session over litigation. I want to bring up an issue to you guys. I promise not to take long. I think I promise. If it does take long, it's Wendy's fault. And that's my motion to move an executive session. We won't be making any decisions after this. We'll just adjourn after this closed session. So is there a second, please?
Second.
Okay, roll call, please.
Commissioner Patton.
Yay.
Commissioner Barwick.
Yay.
Commissioner Webb.
Yay.
Commissioner Stefan.
Yay.
Mayor Absher.
Yay. Let's adjourn to the conference room, please.